Welcome to Seattle College's international programs and our show Conversations With, where we talk to people that help you understand how you too can be an international student in the United States and why Seattle Colleges should be your first choice. We'll talk to students and staff and agents and government folks, all kinds of people about what you can expect when you're getting ready to apply or travel here, what you'll experience while you're with us, and how it can all lead to an amazing life. Don't forget to check out the Seattle College's International Programs website at intl.seattlecolleges.edu, where you can find a treasure trove of information about the school, the programs here, and best of all, fill out and submit your application. Again, that's intl.seattlecolleges.edu. Welcome back to Seattle College's Conversations With. We're here at Seattle Central College, and this is our first foray into the German student experience. Welcome to the show. I'm going to have you guys introduce yourselves, tell them who you are, where you're from, not just the country, but the city would be great. And then what you're studying, maybe how long you've been here. That would be cool.
Do you want me to start?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so hey everyone, I'm Amy. I'm from Germany, Berlin, so capital.
Yay, Berlin!
So I'm studying in a major dental hygienist.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm in Seattle in total of almost 9 months now.
Oh, great.
This is my first quarter, so I just started studying here.
So what were you doing 9 months? What were you doing before?
I have just been studying English, so I'm capable of attending school.
Right.
And just kind of getting used to the environment.
And where were you studying English?
Just online, like it's a German company.
Okay.
It's like online classes, but I wanted to have like the daily English conversations around me. So that's why I already came here before that.
So how were you on a tourist visa?
No, I came with an ESTA visa, with a visa, what's it called? Visa waiver program. And then I came, it's 3 months, so basically you don't need a visa if you're German.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so you basically just apply online, and it's like 2 hours later you get the approval the most of the time. And then
What a
you
dream.
can come here for 90 days.
Oh, okay.
And then you need to leave the country, so I basically always came for 90 days, and then I left the country, and I stayed home for a couple of months, and then I came back for 3 months, and then I went back home, and then I decided to study, so I applied for the student visa.
That's cool.
That's crazy.
Okay, we'll get back to the visa. And?
I am Jack. I am originally from Germany. I was born in Leipzig. And
The horses, right? Aren't the horses from Leipzig? No.
There's like
Sorry.
Red Bull team, but that's it.
There's some famous horses, but I thought maybe it's not Leipzig. Anyway, sorry.
Maybe you're right.
Yeah. I was saying, I was born in Leipzig. That's like this nearest biggest city near me. So,
Okay.
Yeah. My current degree is world languages.
Oh, cool.
I've been studying here since last winter quarter, so practically a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
But in full disclosure, only one of these two is a German passport holder.
I am too.
Oh, you do have a German passport. Jack is actually...
You have to say which one doesn't have two passports.
Yeah.
That's okay. There we go.
I'm the boring one with just one passport.
That's right.
You
She has the
cool
F1
too.
visa.
But
You do
to
not
be
have
fair,
F1.
we both have a strong passport. American is under
Yes,
us.
that's
so.
right. German is the most powerful passport in the world right now.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
Japanese passport.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't understand.
That's why I can come here 90 days without a visa.
Just welcome. Come on
Even
in.
in China, we can go for 7 days without a visa.
Yeah.
Really?
And
Oh,
I
that's
think
interesting.
Hong Kong is actually even more.
Really?
Yeah, I think
That's interesting.
there's like a lot of countries we can go for 60 days without a visa.
Why is the German passport so popular?
Not, I wouldn't say popular.
Or let's see. Why is it so accepted everywhere?
I think people just, if you think of Europe, you just think of 3 main countries, probably France, Germany, and then maybe the UK or something like that. And maybe that's why a lot of people fantasize of going to Europe, and that's maybe why foreign countries always accept German people because they're always fascinated by that culture or want to go there at some point. So yeah,
maybe they just like Volkswagens.
Maybe.
Or there's also like company related stuff.
I just heard they were closing down a bunch of Volkswagen factories
Yeah, I
though.
heard of that too.
First time in forever.
But it's fine. We have a lot of other
we have
car companies.
We have like BMW and BMW. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
All right.
BMW is the same.
I know.
So
I was translating. What are you talking about?
So we've got an international student, we've got a domestic student, but both German. So yeah, we want to talk about what it's like coming to the U.S. And becoming a student here. Is it a lot different than what you were used to back in Germany?
Yes.
Is
For
it?
me, yeah.
Like, what would you say is the biggest difference in your experience?
Just maybe something I realized just a couple of days ago. So, for example, from the school system, we have a lot of rules that make students feel more comfortable and not outburn very fast. So, for example, we have a rule in Germany that in the exams, so you're only allowed to take 1 exam a day and 3 exams a week. And I have all my final exams on the same day now. So I'm like, oh my god, how the fuck do I manage that? Yeah. So it's like a rule in Germany that you're not allowed to do that. It's like you can have like small tests and exams at the same time, but like the big exams, you're only allowed to have 1 a day and 3 a week. So it's way more comfortable to study than in America.
Yeah. Is it all high school though, or is that also at the university?
It is in middle school and high school. In university, it's a little bit different, but professors usually do still kind of have the concept.
Wow.
Yeah, and also you can just take
kind of like that.
It's kind of like also I talk with a couple of friends and they say they always have the chance to just take the second exam. So they basically have 2 appointments where they can take the exam, and if they don't want to go to the first exam because they have, for example, a couple of more exams in the week, they just attend to the second day. But in America, it's like, oh, the finals all on this day. Come or come not, it's your fault.
Yeah, right.
It's your grade.
It's a little pressure.
Yeah, it's pretty much pressure.
Yeah. So if you take a test once every other day, then it spreads out the whole final exam week into a couple weeks, doesn't it?
Yeah. Sometimes you have like, depending on how many classes obviously you have, but sometimes you have just like 3 weeks completely like with exams.
Where that's all you're doing.
But yeah, that's kind of all you're doing, but it's still easier because you have time to concentrate, study for an exam. So for example, if you have like 1 a week, or like even if you have 3 a week, you still have more time to prepare for the exam than if you have every single exam on the same day.
And what about you? What did you find the biggest difference?
There is a lot of difference. So I feel like that even just like the class structure is totally different in Germany.
Like what do you mean? Like
just like, I guess because this is a college level, maybe like even like in high school it's totally different because we have like all of the classes assigned to us. We can't choose like classes we want. Like for example, I think we had like 17 different subjects or something like that in total during like the whole year. And in America, I believe it's you choose what you want to take, and that's something that's super surprising to me because I always just like, I thought it was like that it was like given that everybody does it like that. It was like super surprising to me that that you guys do it totally different.
Yeah, so you've sat with your advisors and gone through like an education plan, like you're going to do this, then you're going to do this, and you're going to do this. But yeah, you get a lot of choice, a lot more than, well, I went to high school in Belgium, and everything was pretty prescribed. You were going to do this, you're going to do this, and maybe you get 1 choice or 2 choices, but not a lot.
I think the only choice we had were between, so there was a cycle for 2 classes. So for me, it was like this week you have like, I think it was IT, and the other one was like, what's Hauswirtschaft in English? Like a cooking kind of, cooking class.
Home economics probably.
Yeah. Home economics, yeah. So that was switching every 2 weeks.
Oh.
I think that depends kind of on the school.
Yeah.
Because in Berlin we had a class, I don't really remember how it's called, but it's basically a activity class where you can choose from all kinds of activities that you are allowed to do once a week for 1 hour or 2 hours.
Goddamn, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's like it's Gesamttagsschule. If you're not going to,
I'm going to Ganztagsschule too.
I guess it totally depends where you are. So in Berlin it is like that. So for example, I had like the chance. I did 1 year like a volunteer service in the kindergarten.
Oh, that's cool.
And 1 year, a half year, I did like graffiti course or something.
Graffiti course?
Yes. Like
what?
It's like super random things that you can.
That's really. And I wouldn't think they would want to encourage people to do graffiti.
It's kind of like.
Is it like an internship or what's
No, it's not like an internship. It's really just like a class that you have once a week because it's called all-day school or half-day school, something like that in English translated. So you just have the chance once a week for 2 hours to kind of choose from different kinds of programs, and they have every year they have different programs.
So did you go out and actually spray paint walls?
We actually did.
No, that's nuts. I can't believe that.
But like on school campus, it was pretty fun because there was actually I already graduated at that point, but the group after me that did the graffiti class, they actually sprayed on the school building because we had a new school building.
Cool.
So there was like a huge, beautiful painting on the school building.
Okay.
So that's what we did.
Is it legal to just go out in the city and spray paint buildings?
No.
No, it's not.
But it's legal because it's on the school campus. So it was an activity from the school.
Sure.
This would make it legal.
So
like
like
I couldn't go outside now and say,
just
I had a graffiti class. I can do this now.
Yeah. So in at North Seattle College, we have a mural class. So it's not graffiti, but they do artwork on buildings outdoors. Was it more like that, or did you actually have cans?
No, it was actually graffiti. It was really.
It was actually graffiti.
You were like in class and you had like a pen and a paper and you learned how to write. And stuff like
do you have
that's so
do you have your own
interesting.
signature now?
No, I don't. I don't know. It's just like random things. I mean, it's a long time ago. Maybe it's not even a thing anymore.
Well, I don't know, but one thing I noticed, so I went to school in Belgium in 1983 and 84, so it was a long time ago. And then when I went back to live in Europe again, just, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years ago, whatever, it just felt different. It looked different. Like there was a lot more graffiti, out in public than back in the day. It wasn't you. I don't know. I just thought it was really interesting. So I don't know, maybe it's more accepted. Maybe more people.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. Here, I mean, there's quite a bit of graffiti in Seattle.
Yeah.
I mean, in certain areas for sure. What do you think? Is it nice graffiti here?
I'm actually not a fan of graffiti at all.
You're not, yeah.
I just did it because I thought it's interesting and actually because a lot of my friends did it.
Right.
And I was like, I want to do something that my friends are doing.
Yeah.
I was always doing all the classes alone, kind of.
Sure.
That's why I chose graffiti.
Okay, so you went to a private school, right? Or
No,
you went to a public school?
I went to a public school. It's like basically the same thing
okay.
Amy did because it's called a Ganztagsschule. I think the only reason it was called to the all-day school because we had classes that go beyond 8 hours or 7 hours or something like that.
Oh, okay.
That's the only reason I think it's considered one because we didn't have like extracurricular. We didn't even have like any clubs or anything. It was just like PE. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's probably depending on if you're in a bigger city or like a countryside city.
Yes.
Because he has been in the countryside city, and I've been in the capital.
City mouse, country
mouse. My high
mouse.
school had like a population, like the whole high school was like just 300 people. That's like
it was real small. Okay.
Yeah.
And we had maybe like 2 classes per grade. So we had like 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, something like that.
Right.
It might be like bigger ones when they're smaller, because like sometimes people transfer out or whatnot and go to a gymnasium and whatnot. So yeah.
Okay, so sticking with you for a sec, how did you get from Germany then to the U.S.? Like, why did you make the move back?
So let me explain this. So a year ago, I was doing an apprenticeship in Germany for logistics, and I was like, yeah, I'm doing this now, I guess. I wasn't like super bummed because my mom really wanted me to do something with my life, I guess. And I had to like find something to do, so I just chose like a random apprenticeship.
Sure.
Just something that sounded okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, Mom, I don't want to do this. And like, I want to go to America. I want to go study, meet people. And I was like, it's very expensive. And I was like, no. So we have family friends who live in Seattle and also have like family here. And the family friends that we stay there, which is super nice. And so we figured that out, and then also figured out how to like apply to Central, because I'm a domestic student technically, because I have a dual citizenship.
Right.
So I applied here, and yeah, that's how I came here. It was just like me transferring from discontinuing the apprenticeship, because that's kind of hard after there's like certain arrangements that like contracts there are. You have to like say. I think you have to work an extra month until you can like cancel the apprenticeship or something like that. So yeah.
So you applied as a domestic student. Did you look at any other schools in the Seattle area, or did you only look at Central?
I think it was because it was the closest one, and I have family. I think I had people. I think my mom knew people here.
Okay.
And so she gave me their contacts to her. Do you know Gina Nakamura?
Yeah.
Family friends, basically.
No kidding. She's one of our marketing and outreach people. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you seen her here in the office?
Yeah, I've seen her a few times. So
cool.
Yeah.
All right. So you got here, and then how did you decide? You were just in Germany thinking, oh, maybe I should go to America to be a student?
No, I actually met my boyfriend here.
Oh, okay.
And then I have been here for a couple of months, and then I decided, I still want to do something with my life.
Sure, yeah.
So I looked in Washington, which would be a good fit for university, and I decided for Central.
So is he American?
No, he's actually Chinese.
He's Chinese,
yes.
And Chinese passport holder?
Yes.
Wow, no kidding.
Yeah, he's Chinese. He's studying at UW.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yes. And where did you meet exactly?
We met online, actually.
Oh, online.
And we kind of like traveled to see each other. And then...
Wait a minute, you met online? You were in Germany?
Yes.
What? That's crazy. Yeah. And he was here already?
He was already here.
Well, that's cool. Crazy. So you came here, did some English study.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, I'm just going to come here and be a student.
Yeah. And then I was like, you know what? Let's be a student here.
So he's at UW?
Yes, he's at UW.
What's he study?
He's studying material science and engineering.
Okay. So is that why you chose Central then? Is because it's close to UW? Or?
Kind of, but not really. It's more like I actually wanted to go to Bellevue College first.
Okay.
But the most programs are not for international students, and Central has the most priority for international students.
Gotcha.
So I wanted to do something in the medical field, and Seattle colleges has the best opportunities to do a study like that as an international student.
Cool.
So that's why I decided to come here.
Right. Now, if you had stayed in Germany, would you have just gone to university there, or would you still have considered?
I actually already worked full-time in
Germany. You did? Oh, okay.
I did a education for office management.
Oh, all right.
So I worked in an architecture office.
Oh. What do you mean education? You taught it?
Yeah, it's like in Germany there's two ways. Basically, after three ways actually. So you either finish middle school and directly start an education in a specific field of a job, to basically work 3 days a week and have 2 days a week school, like special classes for that field that you're working at. Or you go to high school, finish high school, and do an education like that then, or after high school you can go to college. So these are the three opportunities you have in Germany. So I did 2 years of high school, and then I did a volunteer service in a medical clinic, and afterwards I decided to do an education for office management in architecture office.
Wow. Was it hard to go back to school after being in the work? Was it?
It is very hard right now.
Why is it hard? Like, what's the challenge?
I think the biggest challenge is my high school time was in COVID.
Oh, sure.
That kind of like, it wasn't really studying, like studying in school. It's a very different environment. So I actually haven't been in school since like 2019.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So it feels very overwhelming to actually study, like memorizing and like just go back to school. It's an amazing feeling, but it's It's pretty hard. It's challenging.
And what Jack tells me is that you're taking a bunch of classes.
Yeah.
Because you have to or because you want to?
So I'm taking 20 credits.
It's crazy.
I'm taking 20 credits because I want to finish my prereqs in 1 year. So if I take 20 credits for the next 4 quarters, I'm done next
crazy.
summer.
I'm telling you.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, so basically just like do just 4 quarters with 20 credits, and then I'm done with my prereqs. So afterwards I can do 20 credits with my associate degree classes.
Right.
And then I'm done with my associate degree in 2 years, hopefully.
Yeah.
And then I want to transfer to Utah.
Right. Okay. Interesting. So your program, okay, you're in world languages. Are you focusing on a particular language?
So what I'm doing is just finish my prerequisite right now.
Yeah.
And then after I'm done with my prerequisites, I'm gonna not transfer per se. I'm just gonna do my electives first, which means I'm gonna find a language school and go there, and then get my credits transferred to Seattle Central that I have my degree.
You mean transferred from Seattle Central?
Well, I mean, so I go to like a university or a language school, and they have they give me a transcript, and I send it to admissions or something like that, and they look at it and see if it. I hope it's valid, but that they can put into my plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. And then later?
After that, I want to do more languages. I just love learning languages.
That's cool.
It's super interesting. So yeah, I want to like focus on more than just like one language per se. I want to like learn a few more than English and German, because that's all I've been know my whole life. So I want to get something that's completely new, because I've been speaking English and German like my whole life. So I'm like, it's boring. I need to do something else.
So what's next? What would be the next language?
So I've been looking into Japan.
Oh.
And someone from my family knows someone who works at the language school, like it's their cousin or something. So yeah, I might go there and do a language program for 6 months there. So.
Right on. That sounds cool. And we have a big Japanese population in Seattle, so there's lots of people to practice with. Cool. Yes. All right. And then tell us about, I think you may be the first guest I've had that is in the dental program. Tell us about that program. How is it structured? You said you're doing prerequisites, and then do you have to apply to get into it?
Yeah, so basically I'm doing my prereqs right now, and then I need to do associate degree classes, and then I need to apply again. It's a highly competitive field.
Kind of like nursing.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get 4.0 GPA.
Try to do well. Is it based on your GPA, though? Because I know the nursing program is a lottery system. So even if you have a 4 point, it doesn't guarantee you get in.
It's not a lottery system. What I know, I have been to like an information meeting, and it's kind of like from a few points, and GPA is one of the points that you can get in.
Okay.
So GPA is a big thing. So
right,
I do try to have a high GPA as possible.
Sure.
Because like each school only have like between I think 30 and 60 places each year.
Pretty small.
Yeah, so it's a very highly competitive field.
Wow.
I think that's one of the other reasons why I do 20 credits.
Oh, yeah.
Because I actually, from the orientation meeting from international students, I know that a lot of people do dental hygienist this year. So
wow.
Really? There's a lot of international students in the program?
Yes. There's a lot of international students in the program.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, God.
Interesting.
But they all only take like 15 credits. So I was like, okay, I need to get ahead.
Sure. Well, are you the only European in the program?
I'm not sure if I am, but the most international students are from Vietnam.
Oh, okay.
So when we have been by the International Student Orientation Day, I was actually like someone asked in the front, like, "Oh, who's from Vietnam?" And like I would say like at least 70% had raised.
There's
a
lot.
Looking around, so I only know one other student that's coming from Europe at the moment.
Oh, okay.
But she's not in dental hygienist.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. And will you take those skills that you learn back to Germany? Will you go to China? I mean, where will you be able to be a dental hygienist?
I mean,
stay in the U.S.?
Maybe. I'm not 100% sure yet because it's very open for me right now. I just want to. I mean, it's my first quarter, so
Sure, it is your first quarter.
I'm just going to see, but money-wise, and America would obviously be a good option. But I do want to go back to Germany because I do miss my family.
Yeah.
So
Have they been to the U.S. before?
no,
Never.
no.
Are they planning to come visit?
So I invited my siblings for next holidays, but I'm not sure yet because I have a lot of siblings, so it's
Like how many?
I have 5 younger
Oh
siblings.
my
Oh,
God,
wow.
That's
You're the
crazy.
oldest?
Yes.
Wow. Are you a mean big sister?
No, I'm the best.
She's the best. Sure you are. That's pretty great.
That's what they all say.
That's what they all say.
No, but that's what my siblings say.
Okay, I believe you.
We trust you.
So you didn't have a visa experience necessarily, right? But you did. So you had the easy visa to come on the language. But then when you went for the F1, you had to go to the embassy for an interview.
Yes.
Did it take a long time to get the interview, or was it very fast?
To get the interview was pretty fast just because I kind of applied last minute to attend to college. So I did get an interview pretty fast, but I actually got denied the first time.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
This is a good story to hear then. So how long was the interview where you got denied?
Like I guess around 2 minutes maybe.
Oh, it's really fast. And would they ask?
They just asked like general questions first, like why Seattle, where I'm going to college, what my plan is. But the thing was that as I mentioned, was here a couple of months before, so they asked like, why have you been here before? And I had a very, very mean Asian.
Mean.
No, like seriously mean, like really, basically, for example, sometimes there would be like a couple and there were 2 Asians, right? So one person would go to Asian A and the other one to Asian B, and it's a couple. It's a married couple, so they actually have exactly the same things, but Asian A would approve and Asian B would deny.
Wow.
So it was really hard, and the first time I was by Asian B, so I actually got denied. He was very rude. He interrupted me. He didn't listen to me. So in the end of the day, he was like, oh no, you would just want to immigrate in America, so you denied. And even though I asked him, I was like, why? Like, can you please give me, right? I got taught that you need to ask, like, what's wrong? He was just like, oh, no, you have the paper, just read it. And then I was like, yes, but, like, why? Like, what's the problem right now? And then he was just kind of, like, saying, like, please piss off, like, the next person is. And I was just like...
That's really surprising.
I was really surprised, and I was like just standing there, and I was so shocked because I didn't know what did just happen. I had like a whole folder with like everything. Like I had like letters and all kinds of proof.
And you had already been to the States a couple of times.
Yes, and I was really
usually that
weird.
works in your favor because they see you coming and going.
Exactly, and I was like, I never overstayed my visas or anything.
Right.
So I was like, what is wrong right now? Like, what's the problem?
So what did you do? You just go home and say...
Cried.
And cried, yeah. It is kind of shocking, right?
Yeah.
And then you had to wait a while before you could go again?
So basically, as soon as you got denied, you can technically just go the next day if there would be a free appointment. But I actually needed to wait, I think, 1 week, one and a half week, until there was a new free appointment. I actually even requested an emergency appointment because there was like 3 weeks before school started.
To get in,
and I was like, I need to get in. I need my visa, otherwise I can't fly.
Right.
So basically, I had like my visa appointment on Thursday, and my flight was supposed to be that weekend.
Oh my god.
And I was like super stressful. So I was like, oh, okay, I got an appointment. I was like, I got this. So I printed even more stuff. And I came with like a huge folder of documents.
And did you see the same guy?
And the same guy was there. And this time it was super full.
I'm gonna go see her.
So I was like, oh my god. And there was like, I think like 40 people in front of me.
Wow.
And every time I was like, okay, A, B, A, B, A, B. And I was like, I'm A, and then B. So I was like I was in there for, I think, almost 2 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Just to wait until it was my turn.
Wow. And then you saw his wife?
His wife?
You saw the other one?
Oh yeah, I saw the other one. I was like, I actually, at first thought I'm going to the same agent, so I was already good. Like, okay, whatever. then it's not the right. Whatever. It was like, I don't want to go to America anyway.
Oh my gosh.
But then I actually spoke with the person behind me and I was like, sorry, like, what are you here for? So I'm applying to be an international student. And like, he was like, oh, I'm just a tourist. Like, for the case, you can just like, so we were like standing super close to each other because it's not allowed, right? So we were standing like super close to each other. But then I was super lucky and I got to Agent A and I explained the situation again. And he was just kind of like laughing at me.
What kind of officer
No,
is that?
because it was like pretty funny because I was so nervous that I was like, so for example, in the beginning they would ask you a question, right? They would start the conversation, but I was so nervous because I already got denied once that I was like, can I start? And then he was like, sorry, what? Can you speak louder? And I was like, oh no. And then I was like, can I start? And then he was like very nice. I showed him all my documents. So it's very, very important. Show the documents. Don't wait for them to ask because the first time the officer did not give a shit if I have documents or anything. So the second time I just gave my documents. I was like, I have this letter. Here's my proof of financial proof. Here's this. And then he was just like, okay, calm down. Let's start easy.
Okay, lady. Right. So, did they know you had been, I mean, they must know that you've already been denied. Okay.
Yeah, it's in the system. So the second time he was just like, that's fine. And then I got approved and I was super happy. Woo-hoo. But I didn't get my visa in time. I still needed to wait.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
So did you have to defer to the next quarter?
No, I didn't. But I still was able to start here, but I wasn't able to fly that weekend.
Wow.
So I flew basically the next Monday.
Oh, that's
that was like
too bad.
That was like 7 days before school started.
Right. Well, you didn't have to worry about any of that, right?
No, I had a relaxed time to get here.
So relaxed. And then where did you guys actually meet then?
In school.
So
first day school.
My friend I met in the first quarter in an introduction class.
Oh yeah.
Is taking the same class as she was, and because she knows me as the German, and then she met me. Met her. I'm sorry. And then she was like, "Oh, I know a German," and then she brought me down. She brought her down to the office. So that was fun.
It's so funny you say that. Like, do you guys find that people just refer to you like, oh, they're the German students? I mean,
I don't mind.
You don't mind?
I don't mind. I feel like because, I mean, there are a lot of international students, but compared to how many American students here is not that many.
Right, yeah.
So I feel like it's totally fine to me if people memorize me as like, oh, this is the German girl, because I mean, in the end of the day, it is something that I am. Right?
Sure, of course, so. Yeah. And I think a lot of people are just interested.
Exactly.
Do you find that? Or
yeah.
I actually, a lot of people did not even know until I mentioned. They were like, wait, you're an international student? And I was like,
that's nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Your English is so good.
Yeah, I was so worried when I started it. And then
were you?
I was super worried. I actually thought my English wouldn't be good enough. I thought,
it's actually really good. What are you talking about?
Were you worried?
No,
you weren't.
I mean, he grew up with English.
Well, that's true, of course, yeah.
So it's not like an issue.
Yeah, that's right. Wow. That's pretty cool. And then you guys just hang out because, you can speak German. There's no other German students?
Oh, no, there are actually.
Oh, are there?
I met some other, so there were at the moment 2.
Oh, okay.
There have been 3, one left, but there's still 2 other German, but they are different from us. They are in a special program with a G1 visa.
Yeah.
So they're basically, it's like a 1-year program where they attend, I think, 2 quarters of college, and then the other half year they're working here. So
interesting.
They're a little bit different than.
All right.
Even more different than we are.
Even more different. Yeah, I know that we don't get a lot of, actually we just don't get a lot of European students in general because education's a lot cheaper in Europe, so a lot of people do that. We get a lot of them who come here for either vocational or they'll do like a short-term certificate. But I mean, we always get a steady trickle anyway. I mean, it's not as many as Vietnamese students, of course, but we would love to have more. Come on over. It's great. What would you say is the big benefit of going to school, either at a community college or specifically Seattle colleges? Like if there are our listeners out there that are, considering it's like, oh yeah, maybe I want to get out of Germany and go to the U.S. Like, what would you say was the best thing for them to consider?
I'll let you go first because I know what I'm going to talk about.
You know what you're going to say.
I probably would say the variety of degrees that you can do in
Oh, there's a lot. Yeah.
There are so many things that you can study here.
It's true.
And I think it's always good to have an international degree because it's just easier. Like, if you want to travel somewhere, you can easily work there. And in general, even in Germany, I feel like easier to find a job if you have an international degree.
No kidding.
International degree is always a good thing. So
good to know. Can you go back to Germany and work as a dental hygienist with no problem, or do you have to like take an exam there or something?
So actually, dental hygienist is not even a thing in Germany. So basically, my degree is not, it's like the job that exists in America is not a job that exactly like does exist in Germany. So
wait a minute. There are dentists in Germany, obviously.
No.
So
yes,
what do they do?
No, it's just, I think it's just separated in the dentist
Uh-huh.
and like kind of what is America, the dental assistant. The dental assistant is basically the dental hygienist and the assistant in one.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So we just have like kind of less positions.
Okay, so but could you go back and just go right into a job like that? Oh, yeah, cool. All right, what was your answer?
What was the question again?
The question was like, what
benefit.
would be the benefit for someone thinking about it?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I find there's a lot of benefits of Seattle colleges.
Oh.
So I really like the job opportunities. Like if you're an international student and you want to work here, there's a few opportunities
That's
that we
true.
have here. Like for example, we have like student leadership or like Info Central and whatnot. I think also another thing to think about is like the degree opportunities. Like we have free campuses, right? And so they might have classes that you only have at Central that's you can only take at Central, so you might just go to Central.
Right.
And if you find classes that are interesting at North or South, there's different areas you can go into, like also different campuses. Like
Right.
we have satellite campuses. For example, we have like the nursing program that's a satellite campus, the Marine, the Wood Technology Center.
Yep,
too.
yeah, Wood Tech.
And I also find really interesting about like support programs that we have. Like we have MESA, which is like a program that helps students from endemic backgrounds, I believe it's called. So like students that are not really supported, like from backgrounds like I think like Black communities or other kind of communities. So they help with like scholarships and whatnot, and like just general like support programs. And we also have like a great student leadership team, or like in general, I really like the student leadership here.
Right.
It's really fun, and you can really get connected well. And like, if you just like ask around, you find your question answered within like weeks or whatever.
How many jobs do you have on campus?
I only have one.
Oh, I thought you had two.
No, because I have a club as well. So
It's a club.
Because
Gotcha.
I know lots of resources because of through student leadership, because I
Right.
work with them because they help support the club and whatnot. So yeah.
Gotcha. Cool. You don't work, right?
No, I applied for a few jobs, but
Oh, you did?
I actually feel like it's pretty hard to get a job as an international student.
Oh, interesting.
Just because it's not a lot of jobs. Like, basically everyone can apply for these jobs, so it's like all the students applying for it.
Right.
And there are a lot of international students to try to get a job, so I feel like it's actually pretty competitive. I had one interview, and they told me they had like above 30 applications for one
Oh,
position.
wow.
Damn.
That's a
So-
lot.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was first year experience?
No, that was for, what's it called, ambassadors.
Info?
Oh, international ambassador.
Yeah, but like the ambassador in general position, and they said like, oh, they have like over 30 applications. Well, I was in the interview, so I was like, oh, okay.
Well, I'm the best one though. So
As I'm the best one, and they were like denied.
denied.
Yeah.
So tough here.
So I feel like it's pretty tough because
Hmm.
that's the only opportunity. So I feel like for general students, it's good job opportunities here. But
Right.
just for international students, it's not that good because we can only work on campus.
That's true. You could work off campus.
I could.
You
but
could go
I
to
don't-
McDonald's
I
or something.
chose not to because I would try to stay involved.
Oh,
with
sure.
With students on campus, so I thought I would apply for like a student on campus job. which I did.
Right.
So yeah, it's pretty fun.
I will say it's interesting perspective, but remember we do have 4 places you can look for work: North Campus, South Campus. I know people who go to school here, but they work at South. Or we also have the district office, so you could look for jobs there. So don't despair. Keep at it. It sometimes takes time. I know people have taken a couple months. Like I'll get inquiries from international students and they think they're just going to be able to walk in and get a job right away. And it's like, no, be prepared to, make sure you have money to tide you over until something does eventually work out. I mean, we have a lot of turnover. People transfer or graduate out, whatever. But yeah, it can be tough.
Because I know at least like 2 positions are opening for student leadership itself.
Oh, that's good to know.
And then there's also, I believe, first year experience is also looking. But besides that, I'm not sure what other positions are open.
So those jobs are opening up soon, you just said?
Yeah.
So do you guys know Archie? Do you know Archie?
Yes.
From the UK?
Yeah, I know him.
He's looking for a job, so make sure he knows. And if I see him, I'll let him know.
I'll let him know because I see him almost every day.
Yeah, I just interviewed him right before you guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He did a podcast interview, and he said he was looking for work. And I'm like, oh, well.
No,
I'll keep my ears open.
I can let him know he can work at student leadership.
Exactly. There's a lot of international students in leadership positions. Cool. Oh, wait, do you hear that? It's trivia time. Dun, dun, dun. This is where the part of the show where we do 5 questions. Just a lot of fun. It's no pressure if you get them wrong. If you do get one of them wrong, then you'll probably cry yourself to sleep tonight.
No. If I get it wrong, I'm crying.
If you get it wrong, then you should.
I don't know what's wrong with me, man.
All right. So here's the first question. And you guys can work together as a team. So.
Can we talk in German?
You can speak in German if you need to. Yeah. South Seattle College has an animal associated with that college. What is the animal?
So I know we have 3 animals. We have the tiger with the frog and...
The rock, or is it a rock?
Yeah, the otter. So it's either going to be the frog or the otter.
I think it's a rock.
No, you guys are...
So
I think it's the otter.
Let's do some things, right? So we have the tiger for south, right? Because we're the best.
For central.
Yeah, for central, yeah. For north and south, I think...
South is closer to the ocean, is it?
Yeah,
so I would think...
Otter. Yeah, me too. And then the frog is going to be north. Because
that's right.
It's going to be in the mountain, right?
Yeah. Well, there's actually frogs on the campus. They live in the trees. Yeah. Little tree frogs. It's the north. Nice job. Okay. Question number 1. Okay, question number 2. Canada is directly north of us. What is the country directly south of us?
Isn't it Mexico though? Are you talking about only the country that's below us? Right?
The country below the United States.
I feel like it's a trick question.
Da ist doch die Mexiko-Grenze, oder?
Ja, das hätte ich gedacht, aber es gibt auch die, Inseln, ne? Also zum Beispiel, was man denn, also von Florida gegenüber sind so kleine Inseln, ne? Und das sind auch so, wie heißen die denn? Oh, Digga.
This is all going to be subtitled later.
Ich würde denken in Mexiko, ne? Ja. Mexico.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Mexico's correct! Woohoo!
That's a trick question.
That was a tough one.
Because I was saying, is it the islands across from Florida? Because there's those islands are separate island countries, right?
So, I mean, I guess technically, if you go directly south, Mexico's over a little bit, but
yeah. Because I was thinking Cuba or something like that.
No, that's way out to the east. Okay. So yeah. Okay, question number 3. There are 3 national parks surrounding the city of Seattle. Can you name one of those national parks?
Squamish, I believe.
I have no idea.
So because there's the one with the big waterfall, right? I forgot.
That is not a national park, though.
Really?
Yeah. I think you're thinking of Snoqualmie Falls.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's not a national park.
Okay.
It's pretty, though. You should go if you haven't seen it.
Mount Rainier.
Yeah! Mount Rainier National Park.
Oh.
Yep.
Does Mount Baker have a national park?
It's called North Cascades National Park by Mount Baker. Yep.
Yeah.
And then off to the west.
Is there the Helen Mountain? Is there?
Well, that's way down south.
Oh.
To the west, we have the Olympics.
Oh, right.
The Olympic National Park.
Yeah. It's so pretty there.
So pretty,
yes.
Have you gone out?
No, but I just recently watched a few tour guides in Washington, what you should see. And there was a lot of videos about the Olympics.
Right.
It's so pretty there.
Yeah, and you can take the ferry to get over there. It's really cool.
Yeah, and a lot of hikes there.
A lot of hiking. And the nice thing about the Olympics is it's fairly low altitude.
Yeah.
So you're not like dying when you get up to the top. Where Mount Rainier is pretty tall. It's the tallest mountain in what state of Washington. So,
Yeah.
But Mount St. Helens, that's a good point. That's actually a national monument. And that's down, at least it used to be. I don't know if they switched it to a state park, but I think it's still a national monument, Mount St. Helens. And it's down by Castle Rock. It's a great place to go visit if you haven't been there.
Want to. I just recently, because we had like the earthquake test.
Yes.
So I was like, wait, is there earthquakes in Washington? I was so confused. And then I realized that we actually have 3 active volcanoes.
Oh,
here.
yeah.
And I was like, wait, what?
Don't panic. I think you'll be
I was
okay.
like, what? And I was like, oh, Helen just erupted like
1980.
Yeah, 1980.
It was a
40
long
years
time ago,
I know,
guys.
I know. But I was like, wait, how possible is it that like mountains?
Not very possible.
But yeah, I said it's just not really possible.
I mean,
It's still
geological
interesting.
time is so interesting.
I
you know?
remember once when I was little, we were visiting in Seattle, and I think one of our flights was canceled because like something like smoke or something came from the volcano, and it was like interrupting like the flight path or something.
Really?
So that was like really interesting. I just know like this core memory when we had to cancel our flight because the flight canceled because of it.
Interesting.
Yeah, so never had that happen before, but that's interesting.
We are, yeah. I mean, the Cascade Mountains. They're technically dormant volcanoes. They can wake up and do something, but chances are low. All right. Question number 4. Let's say you want to go to Mexico or Canada. What do you have to do in order to go to those countries before? Like, what do you have to do as a student in order to go to those countries?
Are we thinking as we are like?
And this is really for international students more than domestic.
Are we like being us, or are we like someone else doing it for someone else?
No, for you.
Okay.
And this really doesn't even apply to you because you have a U.S. passport. But for you, you might have to.
apply for a visa, right? But I mean, I'm German, so I don't need to.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Canada doesn't require a visa for you guys?
It's just
well,
electronic. Like
Right.
for America, it's just
Right.
like I just need to have like an electronic.
But you still have to do something in
Do I need
the
to get
international.
my I-20.
Yes!
Yeah. Okay.
Woo! Nice job.
And then pack your things, obviously.
And then pack your things. I mean, you can go up just for the weekend. You can catch Amtrak and
Yeah,
just go on up.
Very true.
Have you been to Vancouver yet?
No, I haven't. I mean,
Go. It's really pretty.
my boyfriend is Chinese, so he needs to do like a lot to go to Canada.
Right,
He
right.
needs
Now,
to-
do you speak Chinese?
I'm learning it, but I don't speak it fluently.
你不会说中文?
I don't speak it. I don't want to have that on video.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. Cool. Which part of China is he from?
Wuhan.
Oh, okay. Oh, Wuhan. Dun, dun, dun. So I lived in China for 4 years, but I lived in Chengdu. But, you know, Wuhan was in the news all the time. So,
Oh yeah. I've been to Wuhan last summer. It was-
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Ah,
It was
but
incredible.
did you do the Three Gorges cruise? Like where you go to Chongqing and then you catch the boat and you cruise down the river?
I want to go back.
That'd be cool.
I want to go to Guangzhou, which is where my grandpa is originally from.
Oh, really? Wow.
So
He
yeah.
has a lot of
interesting.
nationalities.
You are
going
like
on.
If you
super
Google it,
international.
I can pull up at least 5 interests,
What?
like 5 different countries
Yeah.
at least.
That's crazy. All right. Final question. This one's the hardest or easiest. I'm not sure which it's going to be. But what was the last movie you saw in the theater?
The theater.
Beetlejuice for me.
Oh, what'd you think?
It's funny. It's
Is it?
It's interesting.
Okay.
It's comedic.
All right.
It's goofy.
What about you?
I'm not sure what I watched it. I'm not a movie theater.
You don't go to the
person.
movie. Do you watch Netflix? Are you a Netflix kid?
Not really.
You're busy. You're doing 20
I'm
hours. So
hotels,
yeah.
I don't really
Not
have,
a
like,
lot.
of time.
All right. Well, let's ask you this. What's one of your favorite movies of all time?
I'm really not
You
a
like
movie
never
person.
watch movies.
No, I do watch movies, but I can't think of
You can't think of what I'll tell you. So I talked to somebody recently and they said Beetlejuice was terrible. In fact, they hated it.
I heard that too.
Well,
But you liked it, huh?
I'm a casual goer, so I don't like criticize. Because I just find it like very goofy.
Oh, okay.
Like, as something I describe something as goofy if it's just like really silly, or like sometimes I go to movies just to see how bad they are and just call them goofy.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I went there like a month ago. I don't really remember like what happened.
Okay.
So like it's been a while. So yeah.
Well, that's the cool thing about art. Some people like something, and then other people don't like it. So I
Yeah.
always like to hear what people think. But
I would think my favorite movies are probably the Harry Potters
oh,
and
sure, yeah.
Star Wars.
Fair.
Yeah,
Were you a
yeah.
Twilight watcher?
No, I watched it, but I think it's
Pretty
pretty,
bad. Yeah.
pretty bad.
Oh, we have some international students that like they take pilgrimages out to Forks.
Oh,
in
there's
here
like
in
the-
Washington.
the thing right from Twilight movies.
Yeah, because they filmed
Yeah.
out there.
But I
There's a
heard
little
it's super
museum.
bad.
I don't know.
I heard it's like super overrated and it's just like kind of like to spend money like some kind of shops.
Well, some of these students I've talked to, they loved
Really?
it. So it depends. If you're a Twilight fan, I think you'll love it. But if you don't care, then it's whatever. Cool. Well, great job, guys. I think we're going to have you on the Wall of Fame. Very nice job.
Nice.
Final things before we get out of here. Piece of advice for people back. Your final words of wisdom. Someone who wants to know big wisdom.
No like wisdom.
Like let me ask you this then. Like what is one thing you wish you had packed that you didn't pack in your suitcase before you came?
Or maybe something that I would do if I was a person who was going to Central, I guess,
Uh-huh.
would be to look for resources that can help you. For example, because I work at Info Central who like know most of the departments.
Yeah.
So if you come in, we can always like direct you into the direct department, I guess.
That's a great.
But if you just come in and just ask us the questions and we can like see what you really need, we can direct you to the direct department because you might not know that you want to go to that department because you think maybe I don't think I have to go there, but because we get lots of questions, so we might know where to go.
That's great. That's good advice, actually. Yeah.
I just think as a general advice that people realize that it's a lot of rain here and very gray. So if you don't like that, don't come here.
But you were here during the summer.
Only
Yes,
come
I've
during
been
the summer.
here.
Only
Yeah,
come.
for real.
Only
I
come
just
during the
feel
summer.
like I talk with a few international students, and I feel like a lot of us did not realize until we live here how rainy and gray it really is here. So for me, it was like, oh my god, there's so much nature going on here. I can go on so many hikes. It's so beautiful. But if you really live, like I live in U District, so it is actually when you go out and it's raining 3 months and like it's gray, it's a little bit depressing. I just feel like people should think about it before they come here if they're able to do that.
Okay, so I've interviewed probably over 100 students for this show, and you're the first person who said that because most of them say it's not as bad as you think.
Really, I feel like it is.
You
as
think
bad
it
as
is as bad. See, I disagree, but that's interesting perspective, so I'm not going to poo-poo it. But
Maybe it's because I'm from Berlin.
maybe. I mean, Berlin, though, is kind of gray, isn't it?
No, not at
No?
all.
We're basically from the same area as
Right.
Because
No, he's not.
well, it's like an hour 30 minutes from where I live.
It's like everyone that's not in Berlin would say like, oh, I'm kind
Whatever.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say. That's all I have to
I
say.
lived in Belgium, and I can tell you it rains more in Belgium than it does in Seattle, for sure.
In Germany now, like the temperature variety is more than in Seattle. So it's like in the winter it's colder, in the summer it's hotter.
Okay, fair enough.
But from the raining, I feel like raining is like 5 out of 7 days in Seattle, drastically. Like,
Okay,
it's like a
October has been wet. This has been a very gray October.
Yeah.
But normally, I've been here a couple of years now, and I mean, I've been surprised at how much less rain there is than I was expecting.
Really.
But it is. I
maybe
mean,
it's also the location, because I feel like if I would live in Bellevue, for example, I wouldn't feel that way just because it's a very clean city.
yeah.
So maybe that's also like the thing that it's just
Maybe.
very dirty.
You can
where
stick
I'm
to your
living.
answer. It rains a lot.
It does rain a lot.
That's cool. Yeah. Just think about it. Yeah. But you're here studying. You're going to be inside anyway. So
Yeah, that's
whatever. And if you want to go hiking, you just put on some Gore-Tex.
That's true. The hikes are
Off you go.
incredible here.
Yeah,
It's
it's
stunning.
really good.
That's so true.
Yeah. Okay, that's my German right there. Yeah. And then the last thing I have you guys do as international guests is say a few words in your first language or your native language, whatever. So these guys are actually going to speak German together, or you can say whatever you want, words of wisdom, or you can say hello to people back home, or whatever you want to do.
Okay.
Was willst du denn sagen?
I'll do
Hello.
Hallo, ich bin der Jack.
Ich bin Amy und wir studieren in Seattle.
Genau.
Und wir sind sehr froh, hier zu sein.
Ja. Und was studierst du genau?
Das brauchen wir nicht nochmal sagen.
Okay, dann nicht.
Und haben wir einen Waisenrat?
Gut.
Haben wir einen Waisenrat? Etwas Weises zu sagen?
Komm her, wir brauchen nur deutsche Freunde.
Ja,
Genau.
I understood that.
Und ja,
Eine schöne Natur hier.
ja. Es ist sehr schön hier.
Ja.
Im Sommer ist es richtig heiß, aber richtig so sonnig. Der Sonnenuntergang ist sehr schön.
Ansonsten haben wir, dadurch, dass wir nur noch Englisch reden, keine deutschen Sprichwörter jetzt leider für euch parat.
Ja, das stimmt.
Aber wenn ihr herkommt, dann haben wir auch welche parat wieder.
Genau.
All right. Good job.
Thank you.
I think, yeah,
Vielen
you're the
Dank.
first German speakers on the show, so that's great.
Wow.
Yeah, woo.
We're happy to be here.
Yeah, I haven't had any. I mean, there aren't a lot of Germans. Like maybe someone from Namibia would speak German, or from
Austria, Switzerland.
oh yeah, Austria. I haven't had any Austrian or Swiss. Yeah, we got to get an Austrian or Swiss guest on the show one of these days. Guys, great to talk to you. I practically forced her onto the show, so
That's true.
but she was so great. You guys were good. Thanks, Jack, for being
No
here.
worries.
So interesting to hear your stories, and we hope you have a good time. Hope it stops raining for you. That would be great. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Every Wednesday we're here talking to international students or staff or people. So have a great Halloween. It's today, so go to the party. Woo!
You too.
All right, thanks. Bye-bye.
Right.
Conversations With is painstakingly crafted for you by the Seattle College's International Programs Department and supported by the lovely folks here on our campus. This show is produced and edited by me, Evan Franulovich. We welcome your emails and questions about coming to Seattle Colleges. Please reach out to us via our website or just give us a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts, as this helps others discover the show. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, or YouTube at Seattle Colleges INTL. That's Seattle Colleges INTL. And be sure to check out all of the shows here on Conversations With. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.